guys, good morning. So Susie Wiles has a long history of leading Republicans to victory. She is a longtime Florida-based Republican strategist who ran President Trump's campaign in the state in 2016 and 2020 and served as a senior advisor and campaign co-chair in 2024. She also played a key role in helping Rick Scott and Ron DeSantis win their gubernatorial races in Florida. She began her career in 1979 as an assistant for Congressman Jack Kemp before joining Ronald Reagan's presidential campaign a year later. Despite her huge role in the GOP, she is rarely seen in the media. Trump and others have called her the Ice Maiden because of her powerful yet unknown role in the party. And a fun fact, she is also the daughter of legendary NFL broadcaster Pat Summerall. Trump says Susie is, quote, tough, smart, innovative, and is universally admired and respected and will continue to work tirelessly to make America great again. He says he has no doubt that she will make our country proud. Meanwhile, sources close to Vice President-elect J.D. Vance tells us his role in the administration will be simple. Whatever President Trump needs, Vance will do. He will also act as a second set of eyes for the president. As for the current president, Joe Biden says he will work with the incoming administration during the transition process.
I spoke with President-elect Trump to congratulate him on his victory, and I assured him that I'd direct my entire administration to work with his team to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition. That's what the American people deserve.
Todd, Carly, back to you.
So interesting. And, on the Susie Wiles front, I saw that Jared Moskowitz, who's a Democrat congressman from Florida, said that he worked with her in the DeSantis administration, called her brilliant, tough, strategic, said she's going to serve our country well. And then J.D. Vance said that she's going to be a huge asset to the White House and also said she's just a really good person.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, very much a behind-the-scenes person who is now becoming a household name.
And let's remember, the Summerall Madden broadcasting team was the greatest in pro football history. So if this is his daughter, let's face it, Trump gives off some Madden vibes every now and again. This is going to be a dynamic duo. Can't wait to see what they do.
Is the music still going? No? Is the music still going? We still rocking out here? It's good. Ladies and gentlemen, it's good. Oh, yeah, baby. We are rocking. We are rolling. Klein, what's up? We good? Yes? Good. Knock and lock and rock and roll. That's a great meme, Jerry. I love that meme. Are we ready to play that meme? And we're going to play memes all throughout the program. We are celebrating. It is the end of the week here, one of the most glorious weeks we've ever had in this country. Arguably, I would say the most consequential week of my lifetime. For the future of this nation, for the future of your children, my children, our love of this country. Today is Friday, November 8th, 2024. Legacy media in total and complete meltdown. The reckoning is here. They're finally starting to acknowledge something that, of course, we have known in this audience for a very long time, which is that they're dead. They have no relevancy. They have no real actual audience, and their only audience is, well, above the age of 70. The future of this country is here, and it is going to be glorious. America's golden age starts now. Mike Davis goes viral for saying that Letitia James's fat ass will go to jail in viral clip from yesterday on this program. We'll replay the clip because it was too much fun. Wesley Hunt joins the show, the great congressman from Texas. Texas, a exciting state to watch this past election cycle. Here we go, baby. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Patriot Mobile is, of course, what we use to break into breaking news environments. Please consider signing up for Patriot Mobile today. They are the cell phone company that powers this program. Go to patriotmobile.com/Benny or call 972-PATRIOT. Right now, get a free month when you use the offer code Benny. patriotmobile.com/Benny972Patriot. Use the cell phone company that connects us and that models our values. The only Christian conservative wireless provider in the nation, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. I have something exciting to show you that I think is so profound, so poignant, and that actually is kind of an iconoclast image of what the nation is going through right now. Here we go. This is what's going viral this morning. It's this Kamala Harris mural getting all painted over right now. I don't know, boys. Do we know where this is from? What city is this in? It's got to be like Baltimore or something. Let's find out. Is this in Pennsylvania? Is this in Philadelphia? Look at us. This is the entire nation. This is the entire country. What we're going through right now. This is great. See you later, lady. Hope you had a good time. Do we have this as a play beside? This is good. Klein, let's toss it up. This is what my social feeds are doing. We're gonna buy the Kamala HQ accounts. We're gonna go buy the Kamala accounts. We're gonna see if they'll sell them to us. I drink your milkshake. We're gonna buy the accounts. The entire nation is going through this right now, and it is a reckoning that is happening that is so important, actually, in this country. And thank you for putting us in this exciting position to explain to the country that we are the majority. That there is certainly a group, about 20% of the nation, that are psychotic, mentally disturbed, overly medicated, deeply unhappy, and worse, actually. I think there's an even smaller percentage of that of people who are actually truly evil that want to destroy this place. This country is a scion of Western civilization. We are the pillar that holds up the rest of the world. Living in the West is a privilege. It is not a right. There are rules we have to follow. And we'll uphold society if we follow them. Of course, if we allow the orcs to take over the ramparts of our great civilization, built by greater men than us, we simply live, and I say this definitively, and I'm so profoundly proud of it, we live inside of a country that was built by great men. And it has been inherited by us. And it is our responsibility to those great men to keep it going. And we cannot keep it going with the current leadership of this country. And we must cast them asunder, ladies and gentlemen. I truly believe in my heart that they hate this place. And that's become clear. And there's one little thing I want to reconcile here that I think is really important. I posted about it this morning. By the way, gains. Donald Trump gains in 49 states, plus D.C. Well, that's a little bit of, that is a correction we must make on this program. Because in the days after the Trump victory on Tuesday, we told you that in Washington, D.C., Donald Trump did worse. That's not true. MAGA landslide. Biggest party swing since 1992. Best Republican showing in 20 years with young people, in 48 years with black voters, and in 52 years with Hispanics. You have to go back to JFK. Best popular vote for House Republicans in a presidential year since the 1920s in 100 years. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. There's a lot of calls for, here's the state of Texas. Look at that. There's a lot of calls for unity right now on the left. Those who are, those who have any sense of survival instinct are calling for unity. Now, I find that particularly interesting because if you go back through these people's timelines, they were calling all of us fascist garbage and Hitler just a few days ago. And so they now want to unify with Hitler, which I find particularly weird. And you shouldn't trust people that want to unify with Hitler, right? So you shouldn't trust these people. But let me explain to you why that's going to be a problem for me. I'm a Christian. I believe in redemption. I have been myself the recipient of great forgiveness in my life, and I don't ever wish to take that for granted. I was down on my knees with my head bowed, praying, much like I assume you were, for Christ to deliver this nation from evil, and that is exactly what happened. Let me explain what evil looks like to me. And there's a lot of arguments to be made about why we shouldn't unify. COVID, locking, polling showed that a preponderance of Democrats were willing to lock us in prison if we didn't take the COVID vaccine. That's what the polling shows. I don't think we have it available in the script, but polling shows that Democrats were willing to enable, they had the majority on their side to take me away from my children if I refused a therapeutic, given a mandate. Destroy my job, my business, my capacity to provide for my kids. They were willing to destroy that. That's an evil. That's one reason not to unify. Until that gets rooted out, that is a literal societal poison. The separation of parents from their children. Ladies and gentlemen, that's one good reason not to unify. Another good reason not to unify is that you must have to keep a society going, you must be pro-family. Until the left decides that it's more important to celebrate parenthood and to honor mothers and fathers who are showing up for their kids than to butcher their children, I don't want to unify with that. Not willing to do it. You're going to have to explain, you're going to have to ask for forgiveness for that. You're going to have to show recompense. That you are willing to honor and uplift parents more than you're willing to sacrifice children. That's important. And by the way, Trump won women. Do you understand this? Your message failed. Trump won historic margins with women, with young voters, with black voters, with Hispanic voters, with Asian voters, with Native American voters. Trump won historic margins across the board in every state. But this is the one that gets me more than any of the others. Because the others you could see, the others you are almost, what's the right way to say this? What is the greatest civilizational threat to our nation? I want to show you why I posted this morning. Here's what I said. Dear Barack Obama and Eric Holder, I told you that we would be training our muscle on this program, on the people truly behind it. It had nothing to do with Kamala. She's literally a Muppet. The Muppets where on Sesame Street, where a guy's hand, goes up their backside and moves their mouth. Kamala Harris is literally that. Same with Joe Biden. They're not real. Fugazi, forgot. You turn on the lights, they disappear. They're not real. Watch them go away and they'll never be heard from again. Obama and Eric Holder have some sticking capacity. And so that's where we're going to focus on this program. You promised America that Texas would turn purple, then blue. This is exactly what they said after 2008 in Obama's victory in 2008. Demographics are destiny, they would tell us. Then, when the state of Texas didn't vote the right way in 2016 and 2020, they decided that they were going to monstrously engage in the largest human smuggling operation in world history. To smuggle into this nation the third world, primarily, but also terrorists. And those are the ones that we know of. Wait till you hear the real numbers when we get back in charge. The Obama and Biden numbers that they've been willing to say are that there are thousands of people on the terrorist watch list that came into this nation. They brought in murderers that murdered. I can show you the literal body count of the murders that happened because of their criminal illegal alien operation. And what was it all for? It was certainly not for the benefit of this nation. And no, I'm not going to say, well, we need cheap labor, so we need to import slave labor into this country. I think that that's an evil, actually. No, there are a lot of Americans suffering. There are a lot of Americans who need jobs in this country. And tough luck. You should start building your products here. Oh, you have to pay more? Fine. Good, actually. You'll make a better product when you pay more. I don't care. I am here for the benefit and the edification of my nation. And importing 5% of Haiti doesn't edify this nation. They don't. These are people who don't speak English. Like, again, like, you're like, in what universe does that make sense? Thankfully, Elon Musk talks about it. Joe Rogan talks about it. And it's only for a specific reason. Now we've completely mainstreamed this idea because it's what's happening. All right. It wouldn't take root unless it was true. And it's true. We have the data to back it up. You tried to accomplish through illegal human smuggling operations and Soros prosecutors this goal. How's that working out for you, a-holes? Here's Texas in 2024. God bless Texas. I will never recover from the fact that Texas went more red than Florida. I will spend the rest of my life. I will grow my hair long. I will grow my hair down to here to look just like Scott Pressler and to make Florida more red than Texas. I am so bitter about this. But way to go, Texas. God bless you guys. You guys did an amazing job. Look at the difference in the years. Look what's happened. Look at the Rio Grande Valley right here. Look at that. How's that working out for you, Obama, Eric Holder? You monsters. Listen, not only is it monstrous to the people of like Springfield, Ohio, or these little towns in Pennsylvania or Maine that have had these criminal aliens literally swamp and destroy resources, and far worse, quite frankly, in these areas. You know, New York City just ended yesterday their free EBT card, their free government pay for groceries and food cards for criminal aliens. Expect the free housing to end next. Eric Adams saying he's going to work with Donald Trump. They're going to probably rescind their sanctuary city status at that point. It's going to be amazing. This is not to demonize any specific group of people. This is simply to say that you must see your immigration policies as the rules that govern society, a society that you wish to cherish, which is Western civilization. And these people don't cherish Western civilization. They hate Western civilization. Obama and Holder hate this society and hate this nation. And they wished for permanent political power. They wish to change the demographic makeup of this country for permanent political power. And what do I mean by that? I don't even mean skin color. What I mean is government dependency. It really has nothing to do with skin color. It has to do with capacity. When you get flown into, in the dark of night, a new country, and you don't speak the language, you don't have any skill, you don't have any community, you have no capacity to afford groceries or gas, nor Americans who've lived here for 7 generations can't afford groceries and gas. So how is an impoverished criminal alien supposed to do that without the government's help? And what is the purpose of doing that? Like, explain this to me. Somebody, very calmly and simply, explain this to me. In what world does this help out an America that's already suffering, where the vast majority of Americans can barely get by? How does it help us? It doesn't. It's only for raw political power that they did this, to eliminate all swing states forever. And that's what I cannot unite with. More than any of the others, that's the thing I can't unite with, and I hope you don't either. Democrats are going to have to get down on their knees and grovel and beg forgiveness. You will need to show remorse for what you've done. You will need to disavow that you openly engaged in and were happy about the largest human smuggling operation on earth that harms the humans you're smuggling, harms this nation. For what? Exactly. For your own power, and that's it. The only explanation for you to get permanent political power to oppress us and put a jackboot on our neck forever. It's amazing how this was the majority of what was talked about in the Elon Musk, Joe Rogan podcast, the last podcast to drop before the election. Dude, if a guy like Joe Rogan can understand this, and I have great respect for Joe Rogan, but he typically doesn't, he's not the political hot take guy. But Joe Rogan like sits back and goes, yes, man, yes, this is true. This is what's happened in the country. Thank God Texas has secure elections and ran a tight ship. And I hear that Texas is going to do a full audit of their election, the largest election audit in history, to root out any further fraud. We'll expect those teeny little blue dots to go red then after they do that. You've already lost the Rio Grande Valley. By the way, these counties are like 97% Hispanic right here. These are 97% Hispanic counties voting for Trump. 70% of the county votes for Trump. Great job, Obama. Great job, Eric Holder. You frauds. What's amazing is that people don't, the legal immigrants, and I'm a descendant of legal immigrants. I'm sure, of course, you are as well. Very few people go back to the Mayflower. If you do, that's awesome. Good for you. But what's amazing is that the pathway to an immigrant coming here to this country is very difficult for my ancestors, for your ancestors, for anyone's ancestors. Vivek Ramaswamy tells a story about his parents. They're first-generation immigrants, right? You don't come here and go through all that legally, which is a lift, man, in any generation. You don't go through that hell in order to see the country that you came to destroyed by megalomaniacal, truly, the true demons behind this entire process. There they are. I don't ever want to say the word Kamala Harris ever again. I don't want to ever say the word Joe Biden ever again. It's Obama and Eric Holder. And focus up, because they're not going to hand over the keys willingly. I think they got shenanigans planned. I think they're actively trying to nab Senate seats in the dark of night through ballot dumps. It's like 2020 all over again, but on like a much smaller scale. They've narrowed the scale. They're trying to nab House seats the same way. We mustn't let them do it. This ticket won the popular vote, the Electoral College in a landslide. They won historic numbers of Hispanics, blacks, Native Americans, Asians, women, and young people. In fact, it was young people who delivered this ticket to the White House. So why don't you ask yourself this? In what world has Barack Obama succeeded? Barack Obama has failed. Identity politics failed. You failed. Your worldview has been destroyed, and you should retire. Or better yet, you can get on one of these government flights. They're free, and you can leave. There'll going to be a lot of them. You just hop on one. I'll sponsor you. Okay, I'll be your NGO, right? I'll be your little NGO. I'll happy to pay for it. Your odious and sickening, divisive worldview has failed. We have won. We, patriots, are in control. And what's amazing is that they know it. Check out this footage of Nancy Pelosi leaving Kamala's concession speech, having a pure meltdown. ALX, was the video, is Pelosi doing a press conference right now? Is that old footage or new footage? I know that this is new footage. Let me check with my producer to see if there's something that came across my feed of Nancy Pelosi walking up to the dais today. Here's Nancy Pelosi being asked about Trump, looking more like a lizard person than I've ever seen. Check it out.
Pelosi, how are you feeling today?
I'm so inspired by the Vice President's speech. She has showed so much strength throughout all of this, including today. Of course, I'm very disappointed.
And another 4 years of Donald Trump?
I don't want to even talk about him today.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, my producer has told me, producer ALX has told me, unfortunately, the clip that I saw was an old clip of Nancy Pelosi. Okay. Oh, this is in Atlanta. Okay. Look at this. Sorry, I was just on a rant. I had to check the production. Look at this. In Atlanta. Come on. This was what was being covered up. This is what was being painted over. It's so beautiful. Eric Klein, we went to Atlanta. We passed out MAGA hats underneath this mural. This might have been around the corner from us. We handed out MAGA hats and we painted it red, baby. We did it, boys. We freaking did it. Whew. Can you get me the first minute of our MAGA hat YouTube video? Oh, it gets the people going. Gets the people going. Wesley Hunt, the great Congressman Wesley Hunt will be joining us in a moment, and so I will talk with him about it. But can you load up just the first minute? I think Eric's got it. This is the first minute. We're going to do major shout-outs to the team today. Democrats in shambles, ladies and gentlemen, because they understand what's actually happening in this country. The wages of sin. You reapeth what you sow. And what they've sown is division and hatred in this nation, and we actually live in a great country. And we don't hate each other, actually. I don't wish to unite with demons, but I don't hate anyone. So when I look at this, I say, this is actually the country that we live in. 5 million more votes for President Trump than Kamala, an absolute landslide, 3 of 12, officially locked in, best Republican performance in 100 years. Since 1928. So just round up. 100 years. Best Republican performance in 100 years, populist messaging, the most unified ticket in American history. I'm actually glad for what they did in 2020 because it gave us a chance to unify. It gave us a chance to actually show the American people what our vision is. And to tell it. Oh boy, man, we have been talking on this program for a long time about what's actually happening in this country. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's real. It's real. We've been telling you the truth, and now, guess who agrees with us? Guess who agrees with us? Our boy, Harry Enton on CNN. There's this one dude on CNN that we like, okay? Don't give me a second, all right? Dude's name's Harry Enton. We play clips of him all the time. I think you might like him too. He's this guy who just completely raw dogs the data. And he's just like, dude, the data look like it sucks for Democrats. If you were listening to Harry Enton on CNN, of all places, and you should not watch CNN until Elon Musk buys it. When Elon Musk buys it, fine, watch CNN. But this guy was like spitting the actual truth on the programs that he was on by explaining the data and telling Democrats they were going to lose. And here he is this morning saying, told you bitches. Here we go.
The breadth of the improvement that Donald Trump had. Holy Toledo. All right. Trump gained ground in 49 states and the District of Columbia compared to 2020. I went back through the record books. When was the last time a party gained in so many different places? You have to go all the way back to 1992 when Bill Clinton improved upon Michael Dukakis's performance in 49 states, plus the District of Columbia. The bottom line is no matter where you looked on the map, Kate Baldwin, no matter where you looked, Donald Trump was improving on where he did 4 years ago, except for Washington State. It is no wonder that at this particular point, he looks like he's going to be the first Republican to win the popular vote since George W. Bush back in 2004.
And to pull that off, he gained ground with groups that Republicans do not generally count as part of their winning coalition, or really at all. How much ground did he gain?
Yeah, holy Toledo. It's just like, oh my goodness gracious. These are the types of groups that you would never have thought that Donald Trump would have gained so much support among 8 years ago when he first won against Hillary Clinton. Trump's was the best GOP showing among 18 to 29-year-olds in 20 years. You have to go all the way back to 2004. How about among black voters? It was the best performance for a Republican candidate for president in 48 years since Gerald Ford back in 1976. And among Hispanic voters, the exit polls only go back since 1972. But Donald Trump's performance on Tuesday was the best for a Republican presidential candidate in exit poll history. He literally goes all the way back through history and breaks history. This is what we're talking about, Kate Baldwin. Groups that you never thought that Donald Trump would do well among, even for a Republican candidate, that is what he did. If the 2016 election was about Donald Trump breaking through with white working class voters, this election was about breaking through and going to that Democratic coalition and tearing it apart.
And it wasn't just what he did for his own support. It trickled down to helping the Senate and helping in the House.
Yeah. So, a lot of talk this morning and this week is, the GOP is going to have a Senate majority. We don't know if the Republicans are going to have a House majority, but we think that that's the most likely to be the case. But I want you to look at the 2024 House GOP national vote showing. So this is the House popular vote. Currently, the GOP is ahead by 5 points. I expect that to shrink a little bit as some of the California results come in. But if let's just say he wins, the House GOP wins by more than 2.6 points, it will be the best House GOP showing in a presidential year in the House popular vote since 1928. If there's any viewer out there who is that old, God bless you. But the bottom line is it was probably the best House GOP national vote showing during most of our viewers' lifetimes.
Holy Toledo! You see why I love that guy? Okay, I will admit. Look at me, expanding the party, saying there's one guy on CNN I actually do like, and that's why I like him. Holy Toledo! Best Republican performance in 100 years, people. We did it. And they're starting to actually take a step back. So whenever you lose a battle, you zoom out of the landscape and you see, where did I lose that battle? How did I lose? Where was I weak? How did we fail so badly? And you're licking your wounds and you're like, dude, what went wrong? There's a reckoning that's happening right now in the corporate press, and it is it is so freaking delicious. Fill my cup, boys. This dude named Jim Vandehei. Jim Vandehei, you probably never heard of him. He runs Axios, which is considered, one of these like cutting, bleeding edge news sites. He's the founder of Politico. He's in charge. He was founded Politico. That was a pretty prominent site, for quite a while. It has descended into complete hot garbage. But this guy's seen as a technologist when it comes to the news ecosystem. He goes on Morning Joe, and there's a term, piss in your punch bowl. This is what the guy did. He did, like, Morning Joe, he literally went in and dumped an entire thing of salt in their coffee live on air and said, drink it, I want you to drink the milkshake, drink it. And he forced him to drink it, and it was, you can listen to the audible gasps in this clip as listen, bro, Jim Vandehei's one of the most respected media dudes the technologists in the entire ecosystem. So call it what it is. He walks on Morning Joe and he salts them live. I didn't even need to salt these libs. Jim Vandehei, of all things, does it. Watch this.
Because you've always been sort of the leading edge of where media is going with Politico, now with Axios. You understand the environment so well. How do Democrats, and frankly, how does legacy media need to change the way it thinks about getting information? I mean, a lot of the voters who went out and voted for Donald Trump, that so many people are wondering what happened here, they're not watching, frankly, this show. They're not reading the New York Times. They're not consuming media that way. And the Trump campaign found those voters where they live. So how do Democrats need to change the way they communicate to voters, if you think that's part of the problem?
For sure. I mean, I think all of us have to come to grips with legacy media is just not as important as it thinks it is. It is to you, it is to me. That's a relatively small group of people who rely on us for their information. And you have to go into the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. And basically the way people get information has shattered into 20, 30 different pieces. And so if you just look empirically at the numbers, Joe Rogan's more important than any of us. He just has a much bigger, hyper-connected audience that listens to his every word. So maybe listen to Joe Rogan and kind of understand, like, what is he talking about? What are the guests that he has on? What are the issues that they care about? Realize that the gravity of right-wing discourse is now taking place on X. It's not Fox. X is what matters. Elon Musk is now, I wrote about this yesterday, arguably the most powerful civilian in the history of the country. He controls information flow. He controls multiple businesses. He has the president's ear. He's going to be in charge of some newfangled organization to gut government spending. We've not seen a person with that kind of clout across those sectors. But where his real power comes from is X. People thought he was an idiot when he bought X because he lost a lot of money. He's got a lot of money. And now he happens to have the most powerful platform on the right, and politics is downstream from information. And there's just a whole new information ecosystem out there. So for us, for you, for Democrats, for Republicans, you have to understand that you now are going to have to basically navigate 20 or 30 different parts of the ecosystem if you want to connect with the American people who vote.
We do our best on this program to meet you together with what we want to cover. Let me explain. When Joe Biden drops out, we were live in like 15 minutes. The entire freaking crew, the ecosystem that we built here, we all dropped what we were doing on a Sunday afternoon and freaking got online. Donald Trump was nearly assassinated. Donald Trump hit with a bullet in the head. We were live in 20 minutes. We have a connection with our audience. We muscularly give you the news in a truthful and authentic way on election night. We had 250,000 concurrents on YouTube alone just talking through the map. Because quite frankly, that's what I want to see. We've built this entire channel off of what Jim Vandehei just talked about. He says that Joe Rogan's audience is connected to Joe. They love what Joe says. We were at dinner last night because the producers are here in studio. It's great, ALX and Danny. And we were talking about how everyone was saying, like, everyone was able to shout out Joe Rogan's shirt when he interviewed Donald Trump. Yo, that's his fight shirt. Yo, we love his shirt. Like, because actually bros only own like 3 or 4 shirts. And so we actually like know Joe Rogan so well, we can count out his wardrobe. That's great. That's real. Name one thing that Joe Scarborough, who is like, he has the #1 show for libs. Name one thing that he said this entire election cycle that had any consequence. Name one person that would feel connected to Joe Scarborough. Name anyone that would even like recognize him in a grocery store. Or Rachel Maddow. Or Rachel Maddow's Yaya sister, Mark Cuban. None of these people are relevant. They don't have any real audience. They have no real connection. Meanwhile, you know about my kids and our lives, and because we're in this together. I'm not better than you. I don't virtue signal you. I'm a simple dad just going about like trying to save this damn country so my kids don't have to grow up in a Marxist concentration camp. That's what I do here. And we're pretty obvious about like our failings and that we're just simple Christians and we're just trying to make it. We're trying to make it happen for our kids. That's our motivation. That's it. That's the entire staff's motivation here. And that authenticity that resounds in shows like Candace's or Charlie's or Tucker's, that's what wins. There are these other guys, Theo Vaughn, right? Flagrant Podcast with Andrew Schultz, Joe Rogan, Sean Ryan. These guys, like, they have connection. We have connection. It's great. I have nothing to hide. And this is what Jim Vandehei is like, hey, us sitting there in our Priuses, sniffing our farts, shoving, like navel gazing. That's what the corporate media is. I was part of that ecosystem as a young man growing up. I worked for these big corporate media companies. It's so pretentious. It's so sneering. Some of these people won't even pay for verification on X. These big time reporters refuse to like pay $8 a month. What is it, ALX? $8 a month? On X. They'll pay for a DEI department in their media company, but they won't pay for verification to get you the news. No, man, they're all frauds. And it's all, the ecosystem is collapsing and they realize it now. They realize what they've done. And it's so great. I was wondering this election cycle, why is little old us? Why is our channel in so many headlines? This is not us this is not me patting us on the back necessarily. Like we're not trying, I mean, we're not clout chasers. We're not throne sniffers. We do not do that. We do not do that. But like, wait a second. Like, what's the deal? Like, why is the New York Times writing hit pieces on us every week? Us? We like do memes. We like do memes, and Mike Davis goes viral for for talking about the Weight Watchers classes where they find Democrat prosecutors. Like what that's what we do. We have like a blast on this program. Why are they suddenly writing about us like every week? Why are all these people wanting to do long form pieces on what we're building here? Because it works. Because we built it correctly. Because you're real. Because we love the chat. We love you. You're real in the chat. Prove it. Put up Trump fights in the chat. We can prove it live. Fight. We do the members get like these emojis. You do the fight emoji. It's awesome. And we love you for it. And when we go to Trump rallies, I spend the entire Trump rally hugging people. All we do is hug people. It's awesome. Because we've actually built a real movement, like an actual audience. And these NPCs, these godless NPCs who actually despise and sneer at their audience, they pushed you away. They drove you away. They said you are an irredeemable, garbage, Nazi, fascist, deplorable. These sick bastards, and we say, no, you're an American. We love you. Come give us a hug. Come here. And now they're starting to realize it. They're starting to get it. Look at all those fights. Look at all those. You just pop it up. We'd love to be able to put all the comments on screen during the show. We're working on it. We get so many comments from so many different platforms. It's like impossible. And then when Robbie does the comments, he's like, they're coming in too fast. I can't do it. Right? And Robbie puts up all these naughty comments during our lives by accident. It is what it is. Look at this fight. We love you. Just huge shout outs to the chat. We just big hearts to the chats. Ladies and gentlemen, something we won't have to do is what Mr. MSNBC's most sniveling reporter, Ari Mabler, had to do yesterday, which was to eat crow live on air. As a Democrat strategist looks him in the eye live on air and goes, nobody watches your show, bro. That's amazing. Watch this.
What matters, folks, no one watches cable news. Nobody watches news, okay?
Why'd you take the booking then, Rachel?
Well, you know what I mean? Like, in terms of the overall population, Ari, I mean, we're talking about 10% of the population.
No, I just have to fact check you. You know, millions of people watch all types of news and then even more on YouTube. So when you say no one, I think you mean undecided, low information, swing voters.
Yeah, no,
many people don't, many people do.
The majority of people don't know who their governor is.
They don't watch your show, Paul. Hey, pal. They're not watching your show. Hey. Nobody's watching. That's why you lose. That's such a funny image, Klein. Just put that out. I've been waiting. Meanwhile, here's what we're doing. We get higher ratings. I bet more people watch our show every single day than Ari Mabler. I bet we could run the numbers. We have the Nielsen ratings, pal. We had a cable news show once. We did your business, okay? We choose this. More people watch us do this than you. What's that feel like? How do you handle that, pal? I'd love to know. I can tell you how they're handling it. Here's Van Jones sobbing last night on CNN Live. Van Jones crying live on air, whimpering that Elon Musk is the most powerful man on earth, and that what happened was we built something they weren't prepared for. We built through hard work, we built a connection mechanism to you. And that made all the difference in this election go.
And here's how we got beat. We got beat because the Republicans and the conservatives built a different media system that had to do with online, had to do with podcasts, had to do with streaming platforms, and they were spending their money there. We were laughing at them and knocking on doors in Philadelphia and Detroit. It's like, there's no Trump people. They're not dropping literature. They're not knocking on doors.
In fact, it was laughing like, oh, Elon Musk and Charlie Kirk with their PACs don't know what they're doing.
We were making fun of Donald Trump for having thrown away his ground game and doing some weird stuff online. We thought that they were idiots. It turned out we were the idiots. We woke up in a body bag because while we were knocking on doors, They were making these phones into 24-hour-a-day political weapons for themselves. And so we got outflanked, outplayed, outbeat by people who told us the whole time that they knew what they were doing.
Man, we got to see Vivek and Van Jones. I don't know if you remember this, but Vivek goes up to Van Jones and tells him to F off at the DNC convention. It's wild. We're the only people that captured it on footage because we were live streaming with Vivek during the DNC convention. This is how much fun we've had this election cycle. Like, do you even remember that? Like Eric and Klein, like we were all there. Like it seems like a lifetime ago. It was like a couple months ago, and walking around the DNC convention, just live streaming Vivek right at the DNC convention. It was really fun. It's a wild how many. I knew this election was cooked. Dems were cooked when I saw the number of selfies that Vivek took at the DNC. All right, okay. Anyway, you can go check it. The live stream's up. The live stream's still up. Go look at it. Vivek walks up to Van Jones and is like, F you, because of what you called me a Nazi, and he did, and said that I was like a right wing, you called me like Hitlerian, and that led to death threats against me, my family, people showing up at my house, and you're a scumbag for doing that. And this happened in the hallway at the DNC. We were live, and lo and behold, Van Jones walks up to him and says, "I'm sorry. That was an absolutely shitty thing for me to do. Here's my number. I'm sorry that I did that." I'm like, yo, that's crazy that we were able to capture that moment. It says a lot about this nation. It says a lot about this country. And I'm not here to hype Van Jones at all. But boy, was Van Jones a human being in that moment? And also, because he didn't need to do that. And also, is Van Jones right in that last clip? We woke up in a body bag, he says, because conservatives, because we went and did this all day. We made social feeds that inform you every single day. Do you follow this show on X? Do you follow this show on YouTube? Do you follow this show on TikTok and Instagram? We're on all of them. Facebook. We love you all. And we have a monster machine over here that publishes information day and night. Day and night. Sometimes through the night. Boys, did we sleep in the studio on election night? We did. We literally slept in the studio on election night. Didn't really sleep, actually. We were ripping recordings at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and 6 a.m. in the studio after doing 8 hours live because we love you and it's important for us to inform you. And we were just going to work harder than these people. And Van Jones just acknowledged that. It's so awesome. Watch this meltdown over Joe Rogan and independent media on MSNBC. The salt must flow.
Particularly the media ecosystem it's not a good one, it's a negative one, it's a radicalization funnel. But what they have done in their online media ecosystem is build a radicalization engine, literally the way militant groups do around the world, that takes people from relatively low-level annoyances with the world. Why are eggs so expensive? Why is my kid learning this new thing in American history in school that I didn't learn? And then moves them through YouTube videos, through podcasts, moves them from that annoyance all the way slowly to a full-blown fascist politics. It's an elaborate multi-billion-dollar infrastructure, and there is nothing like it on the pro-democracy side. We don't have when a man is just lost and lonely and not yet radicalized, we don't have the equivalent of Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson to move that man in a feminist direction. By the way, we should educate men that it's actually really great to live with a strong woman who makes money. It's actually easier. Life is easier.
But I think...
Keep doing it! Keep listening to those people. What an asshat. What a chode. Bro. You are cooked, bro. What is wrong with that guy? What's this guy's hair? Who is this? Are you Jack Frost? Can somebody give me a side-by-side with Martin Short's character, Jack Frost, in the Santa Claus 3 and that guy? This is why you watch, ladies and gentlemen. We have a full-time meme team at this show, the only one. It's Joe Scarborough don't have a Jerry, okay? Joe Scarborough doesn't have a Jerry. We have a full-time meme team. Get me that guy and Jack Frost side by side. Has anybody seen these two in the same room together? Is he Jack Frost? Is this Jack Frost appearing for the first time? Is that who this man is? I don't know. I've never heard of this man. We're not sure, ladies and gentlemen. We'll investigate on this program. This is the kind of hard-hitting journalism that you sign up for when you're here. Okay? Democrat strategists. This has been a wholesale rejection of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party of Barack Obama is over, they say. They're saying this on their own airwaves. They're saying this on CNN. The glory, the tears, the salt, they flow from the heavens. Here we go.
Here's the thing, guys. We just had a national referendum on basically the two parties, right? My work is about getting the Democratic Party, to appreciate how much top-line narratives and branding matters. And as you were pointing out in these results, there's nothing here to nitpick and say, well, actually, it wasn't so bad. It was a wholesale rejection. And yes, it is powered by racism and sexism. There's a large chunk for people who study MAGA for a living like I do that are white nationalists, frankly, right? But there's another chunk of people who just simply don't believe that about the Republicans, right? And then there's, in this data, a shift of non-white people shifting to the Republican Party, folks. That isn't racism. That isn't sexism. What that is the sound machine that Republicans have, right? So
let me slow you down just to give you one chart, and you can speak to this. We'll leave it up. You just said it ain't racism if Latinos, like every other voting group, diverse, make up their own minds, and we'll put this up,
right,
go towards Trump from 20 to 24.
Yes, exactly. It's not. And what it is that we get caught up on reality. Oh, well, immigrants add more than they take. There's no men, hardly any trans kids that want to play a sport anyway, right? The average American can't name their own senator, okay?
Wait a second. So they're sitting there going through their own communist struggle session saying the Latinos are the real racists. Keep it up! Keep it up, guys! I want you to do it! Keep doing it! I want you to do it. I beg of you, please. Here's a map. Let me show you this. Here's a map of Texas. This is what happens when you call Latinos Latinx. This is what happens when you literally make up new words in Spanish. New literal slurs. It's a slur. It's a slur. It's an insult to the language. It's an insult to their history. It's an insult to their ancestors when you call them a Latinx. Here you go. All my exes live in Texas. Here's your ex. Libs. This is your ex. Because Texas is gone. Amazing. Beautiful. Look at that. And speaking of something you'll never find in Texas, Jack Frost. So this is our research. Okay, this is how good this team is. This is why I was so thankful for you to watch. Has anybody seen this man who was just on MSNBC in the same room as Jack Frost before? Have you ever seen it? Did MSNBC just platform? Did MSNBC just announce announce that there is a magical fairy creature that appeared live on their airwaves? Have we ushered in winter by platforming Jack Frost? I don't really care what the guy said because what he said is stupid. Okay, it's not even worth my time. It's like shadow boxing, not even worth my time. It's playtime. Okay, ball of yarn. Speaking of, that guy's hair does kind of look like a ball of something, and now we know it looks like Jack Frost's hair. So I'm excited. MSNBC is platforming mythical fairy creatures. I think that's, well, I mean, it's just in time for the Christmas season. So in a way, we're saying Merry Christmas all over again. So thank you, MSNBC. We're thankful for you. Ladies and gentlemen, the meltdowns continue. CNN, Democrat strategist, walks on CNN and very kindly takes out a blowtorch, loads it with flammable liquid, and goes, watch this, watch.
I'm going to speak some hard truths to my friends in the Democratic Party. This is not Joe Biden's fault. It's not Kamala Harris's fault. It's not Barack Obama's fault. It is the fault of the Democratic Party in not knowing how to communicate effectively to voters. We are not the party of common sense, which is what the message that voters sent to us. For a number of reasons. For a number of reasons, we don't know how to speak to voters. When we address Latino, and language has meaning. When we address Latino voters as Latinx, for instance, because that's the politically correct thing to do. It makes them think that we don't even live on the same planet as they do. When we are too afraid to say that, hey, college kids, if you're trashing a campus at Columbia University because you're unhappy about some sort of policy and you're taking over a university, and you're trashing it and preventing other students from learning, that is unacceptable. But we're so worried about alienating one or another cohort in our coalition that we don't know what to say when normal people look at that and say, wait a second, I send my kids to college so they can learn, not so that they can burn buildings and trash lawns, right? And so on and so forth. When we put pronouns after names and say she, her, as opposed to saying, you know what, if I call you by the wrong pronoun, call me out, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. But stop with the virtue signaling and just speak to people like they're normal. There's nothing I'm going to say to Shermichael that I'm not going to say to you, that I'm not going to say to somebody else. I speak the same language to everybody. But that's not what Democrats do. We constantly try to parse out different ways of speaking to different cohorts because our focus groups or our polling shows that so-and-so appeals to such and such. That's not how normal people think. It's not common sense. And we need to start being the party of common sense again. Joe Biden is not responsible for that. Neither is Kamala Harris. It is a problem that Democrats have had for years. I've been banging the drum on this for, I don't know how, probably 10 years, if not longer on this. We need to get back to being the party of common sense, that people look at us and say, we understand you. We appreciate what you say because you speak our language. And until we do that, we should stop blaming other people for our own mistakes.
Ladies and gentlemen, they did the meme. They did the meme. I love that. I love it. Oh, we just called a bunch of Latinos Latinx. How'd that work out for us? Here's the perfect meme. Am I out of touch? No, it's minorities who are white supremacists now. It's so good. Am I out of touch? No, actually, it's the Latinxers. It's my Latinx friends who are white supremacists. Yeah, okay, all right. We found some white supremacists when we went to Atlanta. Do we have this? This is so good. We found a couple of white supremacists. Go look. We did our own research, and actually we went deep into the hood and found white supremacists that were living among us in Fannie Willis's most Democrat county in America when we handed out these MAGA hats. Here you go.
100 times better, and I felt like the tip of the spear was sharp. Come on now.
Woo! America. This man, Donald Trump, is the best thing that ever happened to America, and I'm gonna tell you why. Let's go.
Of course. Who you voting for?
Trump.
Yeah, why's that?
Because we need to be Republican again.
I don't know what they gotta say about Trump, but I know what I gotta say about him. I'll with him. Excuse my language.
Hold on, we gonna see that.
Hit the flash.
Throw that joint on, yeah.
Oh, these my people right here.
Watch out, 2024.
Now I gotta put that on for real.
Do you think Kamala would ever come to this neighborhood?
Who is that?
Yeah. You want to make America great again?
Yeah.
Make America great again, baby.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Let me see y'all. Woo! Yeah, that's the look right there, my brother. There you go.
Essentially, that America was in better hands under Donald Trump, so vote Trump.
Welcome to Fulton County, Georgia, otherwise known as Atlanta. It's one of the most dangerous. Gentlemen, we interrupt that incredible video of all of those white supremacists wearing MAGA hats in the blackest neighborhood in America to bring you this. Breaking news. Just posted seconds ago from the House Judiciary Committee. Jack Smith, preserve your records. Dear Jack Smith, this was the special investigator into President Trump. This was the special counsel into Donald Trump. Committee on the Judiciary is continuing oversight of the Justice Department and special counsel. According to recent public reports, prosecutors in your office have been gaming out legal options in the event that Donald Trump won the election. With President Trump's decisive victory this week, we are concerned that the Office of Special Counsel may attempt to purge relevant records, communications, and documents. Ooh, baby. The Office of Special Counsel is not immune from transparency or above accountability for its actions. We reiterate our requests, which are itemized in the attached appendix and incorporated herein. You must produce in the entirety no later than November 22nd, 2024. Furthermore, this led Jack Smith running for Joe Biden's Depends closet right now. Furthermore, this letter serves a formal request to preserve all existing and future materials related to your special counsel office. The hunter has become the hunted. Oh, baby. Oh, it's beautiful. This includes electronic messages and such sent on encrypted software. Oh, baby. Oh, man. Oh, it's freaking delicious. Let's go, boys. Let's absolutely go. Joining us now, a man who can talk about these special issues that we started the show with. A man who's from the great state of Texas. Somebody who's worn a MAGA hat on stage with the president. Somebody who barnstormed for the president across the nation. Somebody who, is a member of the House of Representatives and might be able to speak to Jack Smith about this great breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. The great Wesley Hunt, Congressman, joins the show live now. Congressman, how you doing? Look at you. Look at this. West Point, boy. We have a victory, and it was a battle, and it was a war, and you know how to fight a war, and you won.
You know, the last couple of days, Benny, I've torn my ACL, pulled a hammy, and tore my Achilles after doing all these victory laps. You know, it's just been, and I'm gonna keep on doing it. I'm gonna get some surgery, and I'm gonna keep on running. It feels like life is back in America. Freedom is back in America. The air just feels a little bit more crisper now, doesn't it? I just feel like we got our country back. We stood up against all of this ridiculousness, being called garbage, being called fascist, being called racist. Now, as you so articulated it, we're calling Latinos and black men. We're now racist and we're now sexist. It's laughable. And I want them to keep on going, because what this tells us is that they have learned absolutely nothing about the referendum that happened in this country a couple of days ago, which means that in 2028, you're going to see it again. And because now that President Trump is back, and when he brought his ruler with him, now all of a sudden they're scattering like roaches. Keep it up. Keep doing what we're doing, because we're going to have a great time here in the next election as well, and in our midterms, until you figure out that America simply wanted our country back. We wanted our economy back. We wanted safety. We wanted mortgage rates back to a reasonable place so we could buy homes again. We wanted safety. It is just that simple. We are speaking this in clear language that people can't understand, and they are trying to tap dance around the fact that they got that wrong, and they have absolutely no message to address these issues that impact minorities more than you could ever imagine. Benny, I am in heaven.
You literally do live, sir, in a red kingdom. Here is your state, your beautiful state.
Look at that. Oh, look at that.
Your district here. Let's go ahead and find it. Where are we at here? Where's your district? Right here.
Yep.
Right in here, this county?
Just to the east of that. Keep going over. I'm sorry. Yeah, the east, the other way.
Yeah.
Keep
so
going,
my apologies.
Keep going. It's like it's a suburb, like right in Houston.
Yeah. So right around here. Right in the general Houston area.
Yeah. Right around there. Yeah.
Okay. So you live you say you're living in heaven. You live in a red kingdom, actually.
Yes,
here.
I do. Yeah, we won by about 27, 28 points.
That's right. Look at what's happened to your state. This is after Barack Obama said demographics are destiny. Texas is turning purple, then blue forever. And then he orchestrated with Eric Holder the largest criminal smuggling operation in human history, along with Soros prosecutors, to try and turn your state blue.
Look at that.
And this has backfired.
Yes.
Atrociously. And I'd love for you to give Barack Obama perhaps you have something to say to Barack Obama about this.
Well, again, this goes back to Barack Obama a few weeks ago, wagging his finger at black men because they weren't going to vote for Kamala Harris just because of the color of their skin. It was completely nonsensical and insulting to assume that black men and that black Latinos and that other minority groups are stupid And we're simply going to vote for somebody because of the way they look, even though we cannot afford to live day to day. We're living paycheck to paycheck. We are in record debt. We're in record credit card debt. And you're looking at black people saying, you know what? I want you to forget about all that. I need you to vote for Kamala Harris because she understands the way you live just because of the color of her skin. And they tried this joke for the past 10 years and it's backfired. And by the way, they have let 15, 20 million people into this country legally right there at that southern border in Texas, and you still lost by 15 points. Because we don't believe you. We are living in this economy every single day. And the only thing that we want is to be able to afford to live in this country again. We don't care about race, religion, color, or creed. We just want safety. And that goes for all Americans. That goes for black people, white people, Hispanic people, you name it. We want safety. And Barack Obama whiffed because what is he doing all the time? Identity politics.
Yes.
And this is 2024, brother. I understand a couple of generations ago, this was a rough time in this country, but we've come a long way. Look at this country. We are all Americans in the same boat. We've made a lot of progress. And if they don't want to recognize that, as I just said, they're going to continue to lose. By God, keep playing the identity politics game and assuming that people are stupid because we don't understand what's going on in our country.
Identity politics is dead. I believe that Barack Obama's political dynasty is now in shambles. That house has been razed to the ground. Do you agree?
Yes, he's done. The Clintons are done. All these Democrat dynasties are done. President Trump has literally destroyed everything the Democrat Party stands for. And again, don't sit around here and call him racist, brother. I've been black for a very long time. He has been nothing but kind to me and my family. In fact, he's been quite helpful to me getting to where I am today. And again, last I checked, brother, yep, still black. So at this point, when are we going to talk about the actual issues that impact all Americans? And that's why he is doing so well.
So this messaging failed so disastrously. And this shows sort of like taking a step back and saying, there's like Democrats are having to come to terms with how devastating this win was. We have some incredible, the exit polling, the county map, man, we live in a red country. Brother, we live in a red country with little blue dots, and we have the majority of the nation on our side. 70% of the country, 80% want national voter ID. What are going to be some of the actions that Congress takes immediately? Because it looks like odds are Republicans are going to keep the House miraculously, and so now the American people are going to say, reflect our priorities in governance. No more silent majority. Reflect our priorities. Can we please get some voter ID? Like, please. We're starving over here. Can we please get some voter ID? Congressman, this is the most popular opinion of the United States of America that is on the right. Voter ID. 85% of the country wants it.
Yes.
Please, may I have some more?
So this is what we need to do. First of all, the SAVE Act needs to be passed immediately. We want free and fair election. Shout out to Lara Trump and Michael Watley for the way that they handled this election by making sure that we had a free and fair election, and we made sure that there was no funding business and no cheating. This was such a decisive victory. And the fact that this was the most expensive race in the history of this country, they outspent us by $1 billion. And President Trump just won the popular vote. He got 312 electoral college votes. Look at that map. The country is now red, and you have nothing to say about it, even though he outperformed her by 5 million points. And you're telling me that Joe Biden got 81 million votes 4 years ago. So the first thing that we need to do is ensure that in perpetuity, we have free and fair elections. And this is the beginning of that. I can respect losing as long as we lose fair and square. And what we have seen in the dichotomy of the last 4 years to electoral map now, how about we just keep this going? How about we keep up the good work? How about we allow people to walk into that booth, show their ID, prove who they are, and then move on? And I'll tell you this too, Benny. These people that play identity politics also assume that people of color and black people are stupid, as if we can't get a government ID to vote. And the reason why they do this is because they are playing black people to continue to vote for them because they want illegals to vote in this country. So first of all, let's clean up our voter rolls. Let's be responsible. I have to have an ID to go buy some milk for my family. So to vote is a much higher standard. Let's assume that people are responsible enough to attain a government issued ID. And let's talk about common sense, fair voting laws. And then lastly, before 10 o'clock, states like Florida and North Carolina and Wisconsin, they counted their votes. It was over. We have Elon Musk bringing back rockets from space. And you mean to tell me that we can't figure out how to count votes in one day? They are still counting votes in Arizona. They're still counting votes in Nevada. How is this possible? Count the votes, show your ID, and by midnight, this should be over across the country. Let's follow the example of Florida and states like that have done this the right way, and every single state need to adopt those kinds of policies. We can count in this country. Free and fair elections, have an ID, and make sure that you are who you say you are when you vote for the leadership of the greatest country in the world.
Congressman, you brought up a great point. And let's play a game here. Let's 100% believe the vote count in 2020. All right, libs, hear me out. Okay. I believe you. Joe Biden got 82 million votes. Yep. I believe you. Okay, so here we go. We're going to play this game. We'll play your game, lib.
Oh, this pesky math. Look at this math.
Where the hell did they go? Exactly. Somebody explain that to me.
Where'd they go?
Here's your votes this election. It's only 4 years. Where'd they go? So clearly what you're admitting here is that this is the single greatest political failure in American history, where nigh on 20 million people decided not to vote for you in the time span of 20 years. Can somebody explain that to me?
After we got outspent by an additional $1 billion. This was the most expensive race in the history of this country. They were villainizing us. This is actually probably the most aware the American public has been about voting a couple of days ago. And you're telling me that 20 million people just evaporated? They just didn't show up? That's the question that we have got to ask. Where did they go? And President Trump just got 74 million votes. That's the highest count that a sitting president has ever gotten in the history of this country. Let's put that in perspective. And also, I'm going to tell you this about 2020. There were roughly 168 million registered voters, and roughly 157 million people voted. That's a 93.4% voter participation rate. That's better than Barack Obama in 2008. You're going to tell me that Joe Biden was more popular than Barack Obama in 2008? I don't buy that. I don't believe you. And we have got to do a full autopsy as to what happened in 2020 because it just smells fishy, Benny.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I mean, listen, either way, whatever way you cut it, Democrats are going to have to admit some type of catastrophic failure. Because the numbers don't add up. The math doesn't work.
Yes.
And so, I mean, somebody explain it. Either way, I'm so deeply thankful for this result. I really hope that we get some answers, more answers here, Congressman, something that is very exciting that broke literally seconds ago. Here we go. Jack Smith has filed a motion to vacate all of his deadlines for Trump's criminal charges, the first step in dropping all criminal charges. Now, the House Oversight Committee, and I know you're very close with Comer and very close with Jordan, are looking at Jack Smith with a microscope. Talk me through the lawfare against Donald Trump, and what do people like Letitia James and Fani Willis have in store?
Well, first of all, you can imagine the American public and average Americans watching a lawfare that was used against President Trump. His house gets raided. They want to value Mar-a-Lago at $18 million. Dude, the chandeliers at Mar-a-Lago are worth more than $18 million. You try to take this man's money. Then you try to put him in jail. And then, none of this works. So now we got to try to kill him. That didn't work either. And then now, imagine this. Jack Smith and Letitia James knew exactly what they were doing the entire time, and the chickens are coming home to roost. I sit on the House Judiciary Committee. I cannot wait to actually address this and address them one-on-one, because they have some serious explaining to do. And then I'll say this. The American public realized something that was very simple. If they could do this to Donald Trump, then they can do it to us. And this is what they voted against. President Trump said this multiple times. They're not coming after me. They're coming after you. I'm just standing in their way.
So what are some of the major investigations that we can expect out of the United States House of Representatives? Obviously, the Judiciary Committee is an incredibly powerful committee that you are on. You've had some bangers, Congressman, some questions that you've been asking, everything from Trump assassinations to the lawfare against President Trump. Who do you expect to be, brought in first for questioning? Where are the investigations going to go?
I can't speak for what Jim Jordan's plan is, but given what you just dropped today, I think Jack Smith is going to be the first person on this list, and then we're going to see if he shows up. And if he doesn't show up, then he will be in jail. Because guess what? We put Steve Bannon in jail, but yet we didn't put Hunter Biden in jail. And so I dare him to tell us at this point, now that we have the House and the Senate and the presidency, that he doesn't show up when we actually call you and put your feet to the fire. And my guess is he's going to be there. And this guy is going to be, my guess, I can't speak for Jim Jordan, but I know him relatively well. This guy is going to be on the top of that list, on the top of this docket.
What would be your first question to Fani Willis? If Fani Willis, I mean, I know that Nathan Wade's had to come in, even though he tried to dodge your subpoenas. Had to be hunted down by federal marshals to come in to the Oversight Committee.
My first question.
What would be some of your first questions?
My first question off the top of my head is going to be, do you hate America? What is your job? Do you think that your behavior over the course of the past few years was fair? Would you have behaved the same way if President Trump was a Democrat?
Yeah.
Do you have any remorse for what you've done? And I'm going to start down that moral high road, and then we're going to get down to brass tacks as to exactly what she did and why she was wrong. But my guess is she is going to be pretty hot, and that's going to be a very long judiciary meeting because every single Republican is going to show up, and we have the majority. So it's going to be far more us than them, and she's going to have a very long day.
That's so interesting, the point that you brought up about Jack Smith. Man, they threw Peter Navarro, and they threw Steve Bannon in jail. They tossed him in jail, and they would have tossed the key away if they could have. We all know it. And we all know, Congressman, that the goal was to lock up Trump for the rest of his life. If Trump hadn't won this election, then he'd be going to prison forever. He would die. President Trump would have passed on from this world in jail. We know that was the plan that they had. This individual on screen right now, that was her plan. Letitia James, that was her plan. Jack Smith, that was her plan.
Yes.
But it'd be very nice to get to the...
Because it revealed their true intentions to the American people. This is part of the reason why that we won by such a great margin. I thank God for these people. I thank God for these clowns because they revealed exactly who they are. And we as a people have got to continue to vote against this. Again, lawfare against a former president, that's unprecedented. And again, they'll do it to us. So this is going to be a reckoning back here when January shows up. And I'm here for it, brother.
You have the wind at your back. We brought up Fulton County because this is actually something that's happening in Fulton County right now as of this morning. This is probably the most viral clip on the internet, which is a Kamala Harris mural that is getting a red paint job over it.
Oh.
That is play the. I know we have as a play beside. Toss it up. So maybe you've been so inspirational on this program, Congressman. We're so deeply appreciative for you.
Thank
for
you
your beautiful family. I want to just take a moment and say, people don't talk enough about spouses and about children and about what they go through for men like yourself to go fight the good fight. It's a lot of time away from the family. It's a lot of time away from your kids, away from your wife and your beautiful family. And so we just say thank you for your fight. You've sacrificed a lot. You've won your election in a landslide. Yeah. And now Kamala Harris is getting a red paint job over her face in Atlanta. They're done. maybe you can crystallize what this election meant to you. Give us something inspirational to sign off with.
Well, I no longer feel unburdened by what has been done. and and I want to give a shout out to
this clip. This is the unburdened clip.
I want to give a shout out to this country that I love so much, a country that I'm willing to die for. And yes, it's a lot of time away from my family, and I got a 6, a 4, and a 2-year-old. But I will tell you this: in 20 years, I will be able to look at my children and I will say that their father did everything he could and everything in my power to ensure that they had an America for the future. I'm sorry that I missed some things, and I'm sorry that I wasn't there, but I am doing this for them. And when people have children and they look at their future, it changes their lives for the rest of your life. My life no longer matters. The only thing that matters are your beautiful babies, Benny. The only thing that matters are my beautiful babies, Benny. And I will continue to fight tirelessly for this country so that we can have an America that exists, that works for them, not the other way around. So that's why this fight is worth it. God spared my life in combat, and I believe he did it so we can continue to fight for this great nation, for our children and our children's children. And when you understand that, you realize that this country is worth saving.
I got chills, Congressman. That's never happened before on this program. Maybe I'm just so overwhelmed by what a special week it's been. But I just got chills. You're such a patriot. Everyone, go on over and follow the great Congressman Wesley Hunt right here. 257,000 followers, and he's heading to 1 million. America's golden age starts right now, Congressman. Thank you for your part in bringing this.
Thank you for all you do, brother. And God bless your beautiful family.
All right, man. Godspeed.
Thank you, brother.
How much fun? I mean, is it inspiring? Are you inspired yet? You inspired yet? You got members of Congress. Wesley Hunt served in multiple war zones, flew Apache helicopters, total badass. He's sitting there saying like, no, I'm doing this for my kids. And my God. And I got the right motivations. I'll die for this country. Just like Trump. I'll die for this country. Trump is the first president in my lifetime that would have died for this country. You feel me? Do you feel me? This country has been represented by draft dodgers, by cowards, by globalists who love other countries far more than America, by people who burned their draft cards and medals and threw their medals over the White House, by scum and frauds who refuse to have, they would never fight a war for this country. They would never actually risk anything for you or me. And in fact, the reality is that this nation is so important to the future of the earth that it should be a prerequisite that you are willing to die for this country. Should be a requirement that you are willing to stand on a stage and to take a bullet. I'm not saying that should happen. I hope that never happens again in my lifetime. Please put up the Donald Trump assassination photo. My favorite photo in history. The photo that won the election. This is what won the election. That Americans saw for the first time in my life a president who was willing to sacrifice everything for them. And that made all the difference. A president was willing to die for them. And so it's so inspiring to listen to Wesley Hunt talk about this. This is the energy that saves America. For the rest of my life, I will promise you one thing. I will fundraise. I will personally donate anything I have to getting this statue built in our nation's capital. Children on field trips, your children's grandchildren on field trips should see this statue in Washington, D.C., and we should build the statue out of marble, and then we should hang an American flag behind it, just like that, so that the breeze can blow it in whatever direction the wind blows that day. But like more often than not, from east to from east to west, west to east, that statue has an American flag hanging over it. I will work until my dying breath to give you that statue. We're starting a foundation here, actually, called the America First Foundation. We're starting the America First Foundation to simply help Americans. And maybe this can be one of the things that the foundation does. That's not empty talk. My lawyer's already filed the paperwork. And I already have a number of very rich and powerful people that are going to be funding the America First Foundation. And what we'll do on this channel, in case you're wondering if you're part of something bigger and more special, what we'll do on this channel is we will go and help only Americans. Sure, I believe that all human beings have inherent dignity and value, and I do believe that. As a Christian, you must. But I am sick and tired of all of my money going to Ukraine. And I'm sick and tired of all my money going to the torture chambers of the globe. War zones and death pits. And that's not where I want my money spent. And so we are actually going to create an America First movement, the America First Foundation, and we will go into hurting American communities, and we will do nice things for our fellow Americans. That's what we're going to do on this channel. That's going to be, I think that'll hopefully, that'd be great if that was my legacy on Earth. That and my children. Part of the foundation will be getting, and we have so many members of Congress that come on the show, I think I'll start asking everyone. We'll get a petition written in Congress for the creation of this statue. You down with that? You down for that? Let me know in the chat. Hey, can I get Trump fights in the chat? Let me know if you would support that. Would you donate $1 to get this built? Look at this. Look at this. We've already had renderings of it. Come on. Do you want it? Do you want that? Come on, boys. We could do it. We could do it. The new American Golden Age starts right now. We could do it. There's nothing stopping us. Come on. I know you want it. I know you would be down to go visit this statue. Maybe we'll start by building the statue and then putting it on a flatbed truck and driving it around Washington, D.C. See how many people take photos with it. Wouldn't that be great? We could totally do that. We could do that soon. Why not? Build the statue and then drive it around D.C. in a truck. Just park the truck and see how many people take photos. That'd be epic. Man, I'd love that. Maybe we'll start a fund to do that. And then we'll put the names of everybody who donated on the actual statue, like around that. Wouldn't that be great? That'd be fun. Bro, Klein, we could do that. Killer Klein. Killer Klein's like, yeah, that'd be amazing. Let's go. That's right. What a special moment. Did you just hear Wesley Hunt being like, where the hell did Joe Biden's 20 million votes go? Did you hear that? Where'd they go exactly? Can somebody explain that? Now members of Congress, Wesley Hunt is a powerful member of Congress. Did you hear that? He's like, where exactly, what happened? What would you say you do here? What would you say you do here? This is one of the greatest videos on the internet. Oh wow. Okay, so ALX is saying that we already saw one of these, and he's right. We actually saw one of these. Can you get that video? Can we get that video popped up for me, please? Look at this. This was in Butler. I'm not sure what this is made out of. It seemed metallic to me. We saw it, and they hung an American flag here. It seemed metallic to me. It was on the it was on this like army vehicle. I'm not sure who owns this. If you know, reach out to the show. Benny at BennyJohnson.com. And this would be a good start. Look at that. That would be a good start. This popped off in my feed this morning, and I got emotional. Watching it. You guys got to see it. Maybe it's just been a long. Perhaps it's just been a long week. I don't know. You want to play beside? Here, it's there.
It's loading, but do you want to play beside right now?
Yeah, I think we play beside. Okay, ALX says he needs to test it. All right, ALX says he's got to test it. That's fine. That's fun. I wanted to show you guys. I want to show you guys something really fun here. So, I'm not crying. You're crying. So look at this. This is from our friend, Katie Miller. This morning, man, we tweet a lot. Look at this. Here's Kamala Harris's plane in the trash pit. Look at this. This is Kamala's plane in the garbage pit. Look, it's being decommissioned. Look, there's garbage containers. There's dumpsters by it. There's trash trucks. Here. It's amazing. Kamala's plane has been turned into literal garbage, and now they're stripping the paint off it. A new way forward in the trash. No, I'm sorry. No, we have to go back to the future, and they have to go back. Ladies and gentlemen, something that caused me probably to get more feels than I deserved, than it should this morning. This beautiful, beautiful video. Since we're talking about a man willing to give his life for this nation, here we go. Hope you enjoy.
That's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple months old. And if you want to really see something...
Donald, you must move your head.
Shinzo, you died, and I never got the chance to say goodbye.
Donald, I don't say goodbye. You need to remember your training. Move your head. I cannot explain. I must go.
Wait, Shinzo, if I never see you again, then see you later, Space Cowboy.
What if you will see me again? Because there is one last thing that I must do.
Months old, and if you want to really see something to say, take a Thank you, Shinzo. Over the roads and over the skies.
Oh, gets the people going. Gets the people going. You know that's what happened. I mean, I've called this a miracle from God. But Shinzo Abe, was it something spiritual? Shinzo Abe in heaven? Guarding the skies, Space Cowboy? Oh, you get emotional watching these. It's such a special moment, ladies and gentlemen. You think we'd get through a show without salting libs? Of course not. Of course not. It was the toughest decision of our lives, deciding which lib to salt this morning. On this program, if you're new here, we salt libs every single show, or at least we try. We have a giant salt shaker that's been 3D printed by a fan of the show, and we love you and we thank you. Although we could use maybe a bigger one. We could get like a one the size of Grimace, McDonald's. You get a big giant salt shaker. We need one. This has been overflowed. So here's our salt shaker, ladies and gentlemen. We salt a lib every single day. Joy Reid. Too easy. Joy Reid is upset that you and me voted Trump. She's upset that Trump won young people and Latinos. And now it's Joy Reid calling for mass deportation. What do you know? Let's salt that lib. Drop salt in the comment section. It'll be up on screen.
Yet it was the hip-hop and Hulk Hogan generation, the F Your Feelings latchkey kids who came up on Dynasty, Dallas, and The Apprentice, who were the lone age group that voted in a majority for Trump. A majority of Gen X voted to turn America into an autocracy and to condemn our kids and grandkids to a far-right Supreme Court, probably for the rest of their lives. And it was not just Gen X. Because while 91% of black women voted for Kamala Harris, 53% of white women overall voted for Trump, despite the open disrespect and demonization hurled by J.D. Vance and the Supreme Court stripping women's bodily autonomy, courtesy of Donald Trump. who closed his repulsive campaign by dropping the B word on Nancy Pelosi. The breakdown by education was stark. Harris won 57% of white women with college degrees and lost 63% of white women without them. It was also men. Trump won every age group of men, including 60% of Gen X men and 6 in 10 white men. Also Latino men, who despite the utter disrespect shown by Trump and his promise to deport some of your mixed status families, most of them voted in a 55% majority to make the deportations happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the salt overfloweth. You're so racist. Everybody's so racist, says the racist lady on MSNBC. Says the lady that copied Donald Trump's hair. We have that, by the way. We've already done one side by side. Why not another? Joy Reid, who went into her barbershop and said, give me a Donald Trump haircut, is sitting there calling all Latinos in America racist. Black people racist. Well. Would you look at this? Joy Reid lives in New York City. New York City's mayor, Eric Adams, who stopped giving migrants free prepaid credit cards worth $18,000 a year over backlash to multi-million-dollar scheme. Oh yeah, baby. New York is ending its controversial scheme to give migrant families nearly $20,000 each worth of free money. Has your government ever done that to you? Do you even get a tax break? Do you even get any write-offs? Your government hates you. These people hate you. This is why you lost. City Hall made a big announcement as Mayor Eric Adams has finally listened to the critics of the Big Apple's migrant policies and has himself become a friendlier with Donald Trump, who plans to massive reforms to the immigration system. Oh boy. Tell you what, this is what Joy Reid will be looking like by the end of Trump's term. Tell you what, she's going to go back. She's going to go back to looking like this. We will go back. Joy Reid with her Donald Trump haircut. I wonder what Joy Reid's reaction was to seeing the mayor of her own city say, no. The free ride is now officially done. I would have loved to have seen Joy Reid's reaction to this clip from our show yesterday that went thermonuclear viral. Donald Trump's potential AG threatens to put Letitia James' fat ass in prison. I'm quoting, okay? But I think this threat is very, very real. Here's the article from the Daily Mail. This made international news. This was printed everywhere and is probably one of the most all-time viral clips of the show. Am I right, ALX? Here we go. Mike Davis yesterday. You watched it live. The clip of the day for sure. Here we go.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights, and I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
We've been warning people on the show, Mike, this isn't the same Trump administration. Stop messing around. Don't rig elections. Don't illegally vote. Don't try the funny business, because we know the team this time and they are not effing around. Ladies and gentlemen, this clip on our social media, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Doing massive views, 6 million views, 39,000 reposts, 156,000 likes for the Viceroy. This is why you watch the program. Also, where's Mike's tweet? Where's Mike's tweet? Get me Mike's tweet. Mike's tweet talking about this is really funny. Mike not backing down at all. This was the front page of the New York Post yesterday. The front page of the New York Post. This was the top of the fold, as they say. Yeah, pop that up. Top of the fold. Here's Mike Davis laying down the law. Click through, please. Daily Mail. Top of Daily Mail. Our show is top of Daily Mail. You're subscribed. Subscribe. You're in the right place, okay? You want a place that's going to like actually create the news and going to drive the narrative, the show that everybody is scared of, where they're all talking about and shaking? Subscribe, please. We love you. Laying down the law. Trump's potential AG threatens to jail Letitia James. And look at her face. I think we do the next one. I dare you. I dare you. Trump ally, who could be attorney general, warns New York's Letitia James to back off president. I will put your fat ass in prison. It is our obligation on this program to explain the state of politics, and this is actually the state of politics. This is the landscape that has been created by the left. It didn't need to be this way, but you tried to assassinate Donald Trump. Now, there are many different ways to assassinate Donald Trump. You tried impeachments. You tried media assassination. You were successful in that. You tried impeachments. 2 of them. You assassinated Donald Trump through rigging elections. Hunter Biden laptop, Russian PP dossier. We don't have enough time to go through it all. And then you tried judicial assassinations of President Trump. You tried to put him in jail for 400 years. And then you tried physical assassinations of Donald Trump after you gave him a mugshot, after you convicted him of 34 felony accounts, which is total and complete bullshit. I'm sorry. We read the felony accounts. It's the same account. It's the same felony copy and pasted 34 different times for a bookkeeping record that's a misdemeanor. At its very worst should be a fine. But you bootstrapped it and ratcheted it up to a felony, tried to put Trump in jail, and you were about to. And so, no, we don't forgive that. And we won't forget that. Here's Mike Davis quoting us with our viral post. Fact and legal check true. 18 U.S. Code Section 241. Mike Davis going viral off the viral post. There you go. You're subscribed to the right place. I have a feeling that Wesley Hunt's going to make some news. Saying, where the hell did those 20 million votes go? Somebody explain that to me? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I have something that I would very much like to explain to you, which is that this program is a program fueled entirely by you, your comments, your watching, your liking, your sharing. We're having an outsized impact on culture, and I think that things are going to get very, very fun in the next 4 years. We're going to have fun again as a country. We're going to have fun. Are you having fun yet? We're going to have fun here. It's going to be great. And I want to just take a moment to humbly explain who makes this show so great and how this program actually comes online. I mean, listen, there are some people on our show that don't want to be on camera, and that's fine. But you should follow them, all right? Follow Jerry. This is Jerry's account. Follow Jerry. 10,000 people can't be wrong, okay? Follow Jerry. He makes the memes for the show, and his content is fire. We're working on getting Jerry to post more. Follow Ash. Ash, somebody else you might not see, but she's a producer for us behind the scenes. She's incredible. 10,000 people can't be wrong in America, ladies and gentlemen. Follow Eric. Follow Eric. Eric's just Eric the artist. He's just one of those guys that just makes it pop, man. He's just one of those. When you see something spicy, you see something hit on our social feeds, when it has a little bit of a vibe to it, follow Eric. When it has that pop, right? Follow Killer Klein. Look at Killer Klein being a killer. We call him Killer Klein because he kill you. Look at him go. 520 Americans can't be wrong. Come on, man. 520 Americans, that's the total vote count that Kamala Harris got. If they only counted real votes, not the fraudulent ones. Ladies and gentlemen, Killer Klein makes this show possible every single day. You know Danny Dierbina. 61,000. Look at him. Danny going. Danny's like a producer at this program. He rocks. He rolls. He makes it like work. All this content. I mean, we got to like stack it all up, get it all approved, build out the narratives that we're talking about. And Danny does that on a great account. It's amazing breaking news account. We're at Squad squad team meeting last night. It's great. Were the tweets really that bad? Were they really? Were the tweets really that bad? You know the great ALX. It is inevitable. Look at this. It is inevitable. This is a photo of ALX tweeting to his 839,000 followers. Please get me Jamie's account, Robbie's account. Am I missing anybody on X here? We have a big team. Some people aren't on X. I know that. I just want to talk through the people who make the show rock right now. You know the great ALX. ALX is on camera with us and is locked and loaded every single day. There's really nothing more that we can say about it that we haven't already said on air. Jamie is somebody who just sizzles when it comes to creating the art that makes this show pop. She creates these cover images that are just so sharp. She's a graphic designer. She's also the CEO of Gays Against Groomers. She is a activist who really lives out her beliefs and is somebody who, well, frankly, was part of Trump's victory in her activism. I believe this would be somewhere in maybe, where would this be taken? Some large metropolitan area. Leave the kids alone. This is Jamie's group. This is definitely in Wisconsin, right? Milwaukee? I think this is Milwaukee. Follow Jamie. We do a lot of shout outs on this program. Follow Jamie. So based, in fact, ladies and gentlemen. Just make sure that I'm not forgetting anyone here. They're saying, yeah, grab me. There you go. Sorry, I couldn't pull all these up in the time of that clip. Robbie is also a producer on this program. You hear us talk about Robbie all the time. He's just had a wild run. Future looks very, very bright. A Florida native and somebody who's rocking right now. Okay, the future looks very, very bright. 3,000 people can't be wrong. Come on. Come on. Get in there. David Medina joined our team very recently and is going to be doing some sick edits. 11,000 Americans can't be wrong. Go follow David. I just want to do an end of the week shout out to everybody who makes it all happen. And you know what? Why not? Here's my wife, Nurse Kate. Follow Nurse Kate. Because without my wife being such a understanding person, when I say, I gotta go live, sorry, I'm leaving the pool. You gotta figure it out the rest of the day. Joe Biden just dropped out. Donald Trump was just shot. My wife without a wife like this, your wife makes or breaks you as a man. And without a woman standing up for me in my household and for the work that we are doing and believing in the work that we are doing, man, you got nothing if you have a wife that doesn't believe in you. You have to have at least one. If you have one person who believes in you, then you can conquer the world. And for me, that's Nurse Kate. And the rest of this team. And so, this has been a glorious ride. And we're just getting started. Wanted to thank you all. Part of our humble way of thanking you is for taking questions every single week. We want to do a lot more with super chats and with comments on the show. We're working very hard to integrate the comments live during the show so that you have like an actual visual presence on the program. Because this is a show about you. This is a show about all the people who like create and build every single day here. And well, it's been a lot of hard work. And we're very proud of it. And so, anyway, you're as much a part of it as anyone. And so thank you. Lynn Shire says this. Benny, how do I get my hands on a full version of the Benny Show songs? The Brigade songs. I love jamming to the Benny Show, bringing liberty to life. The biggest ships in the sea are owned by the oldest kings. I want the songs to download. Oh, how do I get them? Jerry will work on that today. Jerry is the master of all of that. I told you. We started with Jerry's account. Follow Jerry. We're going to get Jerry to post more on X. He's a sleeper, man. He's a sleeper. He's a creative genius. So many artists and creative geniuses that make this show possible. The songs are amazing, and we decided to start doing theme songs because people love a good theme song, right? It's a banger, right? We have the sea shanty for today, Klein? Yes. Okay, we'll do the sea shanty at the end of the show. Okay, all right. We also have a meme. We have some memes for the end of the show for you. So stay tuned. Killer Klein has been putting together memes with the help of Jerry to lock in the end of the end of the show here today. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We will figure out a way to download the songs. This is not going to be hard. We'll figure out a way to download the songs. We'll put it up on the website, BennyJohnson.com. We'll put it up on our website. Free downloads. Done. Thank you, Lynette. Anita says, how do you feel about Senator Tom Cotton being Attorney General for President Trump? I think Tom Cotton would be great. He's a lawyer, sharp dude. However, he said he doesn't want to serve in the administration. He's a very young senator. He would effectively be pivoting off his Senate job forever, right? Or have to rerun in the Senate race and win another seat. He's a young man. I feel the same way about Josh Hawley, right? Like these young guys in the Senate. The old bulls should go serve in the administration and then retire. The old bulls. I'd be for like Chuck Grassley serving, right? But not these young guys that are so good and so solid. We need as many of them as possible. And next week, we're going to fight the good fight for Tim Scott to be Senate leader. None of these McConnell scum. None of these guys. I'm going to put all the muscle of this show behind destroying Thune and Cornyn. They do not deserve anything. These guys are, yeah, we're not going to go down without fight. It was a pretty fun battle to dispatch Ronna McRomney, and guess who won that one? And so Thune and Cornyn, we know you hate Trump. We know you hate our movement. We know you're McConnell acolytes who will do anything for your turtle overlord. We're coming for you, okay? Rick Scott for Senate leader. All right, count on it. Rick Scott for Senate leader. So that's the take. I think the young guys who are like hot as a pistol need to stay in the Senate and do good work because we need that. We need that bench. And then the old bulls need to go into the administration. Truman Dustin says, you should hang a picture of the 2024 electoral map in the Benny studio. We can get that done today. Why do I even have that anymore? Why do we even have it? It's done. You lost.
Did we destroy it?
You lost. We take it. Are you going to take it off the wall? Is it nailed to the wall?
No, just lift.
You take it off the wall. You lost. You lost, Camilla. It's over. We were right, though. We were right. That's a perfect image of you. We were right. We did predict the election result for you want to know Jamie's work? This is the work that Jamie does, by the way. I tell you to follow Jamie. These kind of images, this is like the great Jamie Mitchell. This, we told you. This would be the end of the election result. We've been telling you for years. Well, for months. There it is. All right. It's over. I'm not going to rip it because I actually really like it. And we'll put it in a museum. We'll put it in a museum, or we'll like mail it to somebody. You just pick a subscriber and we'll mail it to you. But yeah, you're right. Thank you for this, Truman Dustin. We will go and hang up starting on Monday's show. We'll hang up the electoral map right there. Maybe a giant photo of Trump with French fries saying, "Who's your daddy?" Maybe we'll do that. Trump with the French fries and it's "Who's your daddy?" Or stay salty with Donald Trump and fries. That'd be great too. We'll put up the election map. First, okay? Then we'll move to the stay salty with President Trump, maybe for inauguration week. Really fun. We have a bunch of memes for you today. We have the glorious memes for you to end the show today. We want to say thank you. Again, you'll never find a show more appreciative for the audience, for the chat, than this one. And the way that we show our appreciation is to, at the very least, give you something that's like eternal in this show. And that's our verse of the day, 1 Chronicles 16. Let the heavens rejoice, let the earth be glad. Let them say nothing. Let them say among the nations, the Lord reigns. Again, let the heavens rejoice, let the earth be glad. Let them say among the nations, the Lord reigns. We said this on social media. I'll say it again. It's important to say it. God saved us from evil. The end. The end. We played a note. God demands that his warriors stand up and fight. You must take action for God to hear you. You have to. You have to take action. It was a requirement, right? You must have faith. You must walk out of Egypt. You have to take action's part of it. So what we do in this life matters. But the hand of the Lord is who actually dispatches our enemies. And so that's where all of the glory goes to in all of this. God saved us, our Lord Jesus Christ saved us from evil. And what does that evil look like? That evil looks like Kamala Harris hearing someone say Christ is king and then saying, this is not your rally. You don't belong here. You need to go to a different rally. Oh, I'm sorry. You're at the wrong rally. Okay, great. Do that. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. We'll show you what that looks like. Give me one more electoral map. Keep doing that. We'll show you what it looks like. There it is. This is what it looks like when you tell Christians that you're not allowed at the rally, that you're at the wrong rally. Okay. Well, maybe you're in the wrong country. Closing thought. For this, the greatest country on earth, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your weekend. It's going to be a little bit sweeter for me. Have a great one. Again, in this, the greatest country on earth. Thank you for helping us make it great again. It's your boy Benny. See ya.
You're welcome, I guess. Because I'm your nuclear deterrent. It's working. We're safe. America is secure. You want my property? You can't have it. But I did you a big favor. I have successfully privatized world peace.
Let me tell you the story I heard from a local state trooper about Joe Biden riding on the Air Force One Cooper. His days were numbered, nobody wanted him around, so he took his cash and went out like D.B. Cooper. Run, Joe, run into the Amazon. Take your wife and crackhead son. Maybe one day we find your fortune like F.J.B. Cooper. Join us in the hunt for truth and light. At the Benny Show, targets in sight. Run, Joe, run into the Amazon. Take your wife and crackhead son. Maybe one day we find your fortune like F.J.B. Cooper.
What a nasty woman. For Peanut.
all owned by the oldest kings, and their dying legacy media still reads. Soon will the Benny Show come to mind, the salt from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun, we sail for #1. will come to mine. The salt from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun. We sail for #1. The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest king.